Hey guys, this is Jamie. So today we're gonna be talking about something which I haven't seen enough people talk about, and frankly, I find it very infuriating. And specifically the fact that the spaces I frequent on the internet are mostly sort of American, UK dominated. I would have expected a lot more outrage when it comes to, uh, let's say, Donald Trump laid a speech specifically regarding trans people. So, in case you missed it or you haven't been online, or well, actually, not a lot of people are talking about it. Former President Donald Trump said that the first thing he's gonna do once he gets elected is pretty much ban a lot of different transgender care. So this includes banning specifically trans woman athletes to compete with cis women. It means banning underage children, people, uh, basically anyone under the age of 18 to get HRT or blockers in this case. It bans promotion of any sort of transition to anyone regardless of age, and people who are uh, doctors who help people transition will be fired from Medicaid, and basically you won't be able to get anything sourced, paid for, and it will be excessively banned. So this is what I wanted to focus on today. First of all, I really want to say that it is absolutely disgusting. Second of all, it's very alarming, and third of all, I just feel like everyone's very quiet about it. I did see some people, and I'm thankful that a lot of people still raised awareness in certain circles and made their posts, made their voices heard, spoke out saying that we as the LGBT community need to unite for this, because this literally means stripping off trans people's rights. Now, I understand myself that I'm not American. I've only been to the US when I was very little, but I still obviously care. And in general, it has been worrying me the sort of direction the world has been going to when it comes to trans people. And it's sort of started being like, it's become a sort of divisive issue, which feels like people are just covering up more things, and they're trying to distract people into saying that the worst thing that is happening right now is factually trans people. Uh, I mean, there's the China weather balloon. I mean, if you want to go off on that, there's obviously the war happening. There's the UK going absolutely nuts about further going into this insanity spiral after Brexit. There's obviously a lot of UK trans rights which are getting taken away, which I've also done a video on, specifically on the Scottish law which got vetoed by Rishi Sunak's Tory party. And the fact that Keir Starmer isn't really doing anything about it is also very alarming. And in general, I really wanted to focus that regardless of which party you are, there isn't a lot of support for trans people these days. And in general, I feel like this year and the previous year we've been hit with a lot of anti-trans regulation, which is absolutely bizarre. And I understand that we all try to live in our bubble and think, like, will this affect me? Is this going to affect me in any way? And I've seen people say that, oh, you can get black market tea. And obviously, if the world comes to that, a lot of people will actually start doing that. And that is obviously not the right way to do it. Trans people have existed since ever. It's just that we were obviously erased by history. And even even the snippets of history that we have just simply states that these people were prosecuted, these people were had to hide their entire identities, and they were still accepted by we as trans people. We still got love, we still managed to live fulfilling lives somehow despite everything against us. And specifically when it comes to sports, I understand that I'm not like the biggest sports enthusiast, even though I watch football, but I still feel like it is a conversation which needs to be had. Trans people are not more powerful, more weak than cis people. It is literally just trans people and cis people competing. And also Donald Trump wants to say that there's obviously like only two genders, which obviously isn't true. And I forgot to mention in the beginning of the video. And I've seen a lot of people start throwing non-binary people, different presentations under the bus. And I understand because that it's getting really frustrating. And we're literally at each other's throats at this point. But at this point, we need to understand that we as a community need to unite. Non-binary people are not and never will be the enemy. And also there's been an alarming rise in posts on FTM men which literally go, oh, I feel so neglected because I'm masculine. That's great, lovely. That's just great. And then you have the other side of the spectrum, which is more femme presenting trans guys, which say that I don't feel comfortable around with these super masculine, holier than thou acting guys. And then everyone just starts yapping at each other. And it's really frustrating because we have bigger issues to focus on, like Trump's speech, like the UK. There's obviously a very serious ban that happens in Russia, and obviously everyone. I'm trying not to get too much into the Russia ban, because then that would open this whole sort of wormhole about the war. But in general, LGBT people are heavily more persecuted right now in Russia with the war going on. And so it just feels like everyone's just screaming at each other when we're not focusing enough at the fact that there's a lot of laws which are going against us. So it's been very frustrating. And in general, I've yet to see a sort of a decent amount of trans YouTubers which have been speaking out on these issues, and I find it very annoying that there hasn't been enough. Like, memes are all great and fun and everything, but I still feel like YouTube should be a platform which informs people of what's happening, what's going on, and etc. And I've been quite irritated by that. So yeah, that's pretty much what I want to talk about today. I really feel like this isn't just a conversation which we need to have. This is factually something which needs to be talked about. And I'm not saying that you need to like start arguing with everyone you meet on the street. You should just start raising awareness. And awareness also comes from different places. Like, for instance, I wanted to say that a lot of people, for instance, don't enjoy answering questions or reply like, hey, Google this. Like, if you don't know what trans is, that you need to find that out by yourself. I feel like way back when, before I even properly understood what trans was and that I was trans, I remember way back when in Scotland, when I was studying, I remember there was this sort of like program where people would speak about their experiences, and they would talk about being trans, about being gay, about being bisexual. And I truly wish we could sort of go back to this informative time where it isn't just us against everyone else. It should really be an open conversation. we should be open to questions. Like, I always make sure that when, like, I still understand that I am mostly stealth in my life, but for instance, when I hook up or when I reveal to someone that I'm trans, I always say, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Because I'm revealing this information also so that the person knows more about me, knows more about my journey, and understands that trans people can just be anywhere. Because obviously I've had the privilege to pass for a very long while now, and have been transitioning for a while now as well. So yeah, so I really feel like it will, if it is possible, then obviously I just wish that we would start somehow having a conversation about this rather than butting heads. But at the same time, I understand that sometimes you can't even have that conversation with people. Like, for instance, I no longer talk to my sister because she just, well, it's a long history, but she just refuses to even have a conversation about me being trans. So obviously there is no contact there. But like, when it comes to different members of my family, I do wish that I maybe had more patience with them. Or I'm quite very, sometimes when I reach my limit, I can tend to just distance myself until I heal and then come back into the convo. But I just wanted to say, if there is someone willing to listen, you should really try, because right now there's so much shit going on against us that we just need to find more allies in this case. And we need to start having a proper conversation. We are just as human as everyone else. Being trans doesn't make us less human. And being trans doesn't make us an anomaly. Sure, I can go down the route of saying that it is, like, in my eyes, like in the eyes of many trans people, I do feel like it's a medical condition, and I do wish I woke up cis, but I didn't. All I can do is get surgeries, get treatments, and live a happy life from this. So I really wish people would understand that we're not trying to indoctrinate anyone. I wouldn't wish, maybe even on my, well, maybe on my worst enemy to be trans, just so that they could understand what it's like to be neglected, to be refused, to have issues with documentation, to wait years for surgeries, to wait years for HRT, to understand how hateful people can be just from you existing. But trans isn't something that we're, well, obviously I do understand that, and I've had videos on this topic, that there are people who are happy to be trans, but I'm not different from any other cis guy. Well, maybe I wear more makeup, but then there are cis guys who wear more makeup, and that's it. Like, I'm just your average gay guy who will end up sucking dick behind an abandoned house. Like, seriously. There's nothing special. So I really wanted to say that I just want the world to be a better place, as corny as it is. So if you have anyone who you can talk to, who you can reach out to, have a conversation, please stay safe while us doing this, and I truly hope that the world turns into some sort of better place for all of us, because we truly need as trans people. Thank you. And if you like this video, obviously like it. Leave a comment. I'm always happy to answer carefully, or sort of like, well-worded questions. In this case, I know I'm not the best comment replier in the world, but if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. and I would appreciate some subscribers. Thank you very much.